Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, I'll be talking with Butch Bejna from the Young Eagles. Then we'll hear from Sergeant John Nebl about the Citizens Police Academy. And we'll close out the program by speaking with Jack Brey from the Hoffman Schaumburg Lions Club. All of this and more today on Speaking of Schaumburg. The FAA Young Eagles program was launched in 1992 to give interested young people an opportunity to go flying with an FAA member or volunteer. With us today to tell us about Schaumburg's own Young Eagles chapter is Butch Bejna. Butch, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Good morning, Al. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Tell me about this Young Eagles group. I mean, what does it consist of? Who started it? What do you guys do?
It was started back in 1992, and the goal was to get 1 million kids flown by the 100th anniversary of the Wright brothers, which was in 2003.
Okay.
And since 1993, and since then they've flown 1 million, and they continued with the program, and we volunteer our time as pilots and give the kids flights.
So there's a chapter over there of young kids who've already flown. They're members of that Young Eagles organization.
Yes.
But if a young person shows up and wants to go up in an airplane, you guys will take them up?
We take them up.
Was there an age limit?
There is an age limit as of right now, 8 to 17, and they must be accompanied by an adult. And then after the air show this year up in Oshkosh, they're going to come up with another program that they're going to let adults fly.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be like an extended Young Eagles program. They're still working out all the details.
Oh, you're going to get a lot of interest there.
Yes, we are.
I guess the idea then is to get people acquainted with the airport and get acquainted with what flying is all about.
Yes, let them know that aviation is open to anybody. I mean, they think of airports with security and all that, but they can come out, schedule a flight, go for a flight with us and everything, and it's free.
Okay, I take one of my grandkids out, and I drop them and I say, okay, here, can you take them up?
Sure. What we do first is usually talk a little bit about the airport, then about the aircraft and the rules. Have a ground school where we go over the different parts of the aircraft, the instrument panel and stuff. Take them for a flight, which is about 15 minutes. We leave Schaumburg Airport. We go out towards Hoffman Estates, Streamwood, Elgin, come back into the airport. After they get done with a flight, they receive a certificate and everything, which will have their name and everything on it. This is Young Eagle Certificate.
Okay.
And the current chairman of the program are the Miracle on the Hudson pilots.
Okay, all right.
And Jeff Skiles, who was a co-pilot on that flight, was also at Schaumburg, I believe 2 years ago. He came down to fly at one of the rallies.
Okay, all right. Now, after my grandson or my granddaughter goes up in the plane, and I assume it's for young ladies too.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so after they go up in the plane, do I enroll them in this program?
They have another program
they have meetings,
that's also, they do receive a logbook after the flight where they can record the flight, and there's also an online course for free, which is provided by another company, and they have a certificate in here with a registration number that's good forever. So if they might not be interested right now, but maybe a year or two from now, they can still go back online and do all this.
First free lesson, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, it is.
How many young people typically come out for this program, and when does that take place?
We've had anywhere from some small groups, like 17, and the most we've had was over 100.
All at one time?
All at one day. We usually go the first Sunday of the month. Some dates might change, and we usually start in April.
You have to call in advance, or you just show up?
If it's a small, just one or two, they can show up. If it's a larger group, sometimes we have Cub Scouts or Girl Scouts that show up. We like to schedule them for, certain time periods and stuff, make sure we have enough pilots available and everything.
How many pilots are involved in this program?
There's, overall, since the program started, there's somewhere about 45,000 pilots that have volunteered their time and everything. Okay. In our chapter, we've gone anywhere from 3 pilots to 12 pilots.
All right.
So it depends what their schedules are, if they're available that day, and to come out.
And how many pilots are in your chapter?
We probably have close to 20 pilots in our chapter.
Okay, all right. Boy, that's fascinating. So I'm going to talk to my grandkids about this program.
Oh, it'd be nice to take them up. And as of to date, because I checked right before, it was 1,681,000 plus have already participated in this program.
And how many flights have you gone on?
I've given over 1,700.
Wow. But that's a lot of fuel you're burning.
Yes, it is. Yeah, my airplane only holds one at a time, so those are 1,700 flights I've given.
What kind of plane is it?
Cessna 150.
How many engines does it have?
1 engine and 2 seats.
Oh, okay.
Wing up on top, so when they go up, they can see everything down below. Some of the aircraft, have wings on the bottom, so they mostly just get to look up in the sky.
Do you have any flight pattern at all? I mean, the kids say, "Can you fly over my house?"
We usually keep to the same pattern we do, just to keep other congestion away from the airport and stuff. The biggest reason we have for changing a flight plan is the way the winds are blowing that day.
Okay.
So either we take off to the west side of Schaumburg or to the east.
And typically the winds are blowing which way?
Usually out of the west.
Out of the west, right.
But if they are out of the east, we take off, we go to Plum Grove Road, then we go up right past Woodfield. So you can pick out everything up by Woodfield. That key is very easy to pick out.
Oh, sure. Oh.
And go up towards Medieval Times and up and around that area, past Harper College, and then come back in down Roselle Road.
Now, what's your background, Butch? How did you get involved in aviation?
My dad flew, so I used to always go to the airport on the weekends with him, and to me it was normal to go flying on the weekends.
What airport did you go to?
At that time, he did some stuff at Aurora Airport, and also Pewaukee, which is now Chicago Executive.
Oh, sure. So he took you out, huh?
Yes.
How long ago was that, Butch?
Well, I've been flying since '84, so he took me up a lot before then.
And where did you learn to fly?
Actually, at Chicago Executive.
Okay.
A friend had an aircraft there, and I learned from him.
All right. Now, what do you just a strictly recreational flyer, or?
Yes.
And then you this Young Eagles thing you do on the side?
Yes.
And you say it's the first Sunday of the month?
First Sunday of the month, starting in April. So I believe August should be the second Sunday. They can give me a call and work out times and details. And the other factor we have is weather.
Okay.
If there's if the clouds are low or very windy, we do not go.
Okay, sure.
It's all safety.
So so now my grandkid is involved in the Young Eagles organization. They have monthly meetings.
We do. Our chapter does have monthly meetings out there, and there are other events. They also have Civil Air Patrol at the Schaumburg Regional Airport, which they could join.
Okay.
And there's also other things. Most of it's online that you can do right from Oshkosh after they are enrolled in the program.
You typically see a transfer in there where young people get involved in the Civilian Air Patrol.
There's a few. I know the one. He was a young guy back then, but he worked at Schaumburg as a line boy. I took him up for a Young Eagle flight, and right now...
What's a line boy?
He fills up the airplanes with gas and parks them.
Oh yeah, he's
a
gopher.
Yeah, pretty much. But Dave is his name, and he took a first flight with me, and he's in Hawaii right now flying charters.
Wow.
So he went from never going in an aircraft at all to Hawaii flying.
Does he ever invite you out and say, come on?
He has. I haven't taken him up yet.
It's
but he's
Hawaii,
usually,
Butch.
I know.
Look outside the window here. It's Hawaii.
But I haven't yet, but other pilots from the airport have gone that he was friends with.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's a great program. That's a great program. I mean, I can just see it. You ever get young people going out there and at the very last minute decide, no, I'm not going up in that?
We had one youngster that it took him 3 times in 3 different airplanes before he decided he'd finally go.
Okay.
And after he went, he said, I don't know why I was afraid. His friends were, saying, we went up and stuff.
I know why he was afraid.
But he finally went and decided, he said, it wasn't that bad after all. I don't know why I was afraid to go,
How long have you been involved with the airport over there?
We moved on to the airport. I have a hangar at the airport, based my airplane there we've had the hangar since '90, and I've kept my airplane there, the one I'm currently flying, from '93.
From '93?
Yes.
So you're a long-time tenant over there?
Yes.
So you were there prior to the airport being remodeled?
Yes, I was.
Or rebuilt? So you knew the manager over there, right?
Gene.
Gene Bushka, right?
Yes.
He to ride his horse around the perimeter?
The horse and the dog at the airport all the time.
Yeah. It's got some history there, too.
It does.
And it was a restaurant, too, overlooking the restaurant back in the day, too.
That I don't...
It wasn't Pilot Pete's, it was another one.
No, it was a smaller one. I don't remember that at that time, but yes, the airport's made huge improvements.
It sure has. Hey,
it's
Butch,
very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Al.
And I talk to my grandkids.
Okay.
You'll be hearing from them.
No problem at all.
All right, thank you. Interested in learning more about local law enforcement? The Schaumburg Police Department might have just what you're looking for. Find out more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Throughout the year, village residents have the chance to take part in a 10-week crash course on the inner workings of the Schaumburg Police Department. Here to tell us about the Citizens Police Academy is Sergeant John Nebl. John, welcome.
Mayor, thank you very much.
Well, tell us about how did this program get started And when did it get started, and how successful has it been?
Well, proudly, we're actually going into our 16th year. We have our 31st class starting up in a couple weeks, so that takes us back to 1996 when we had our very first class. And it all started because we got into community policing here in Schaumburg in the mid-90s, and community policing, at least with our department, with our village, has not been just a buzzword or something we just throw around. It actually is a way of doing business, and an important part of community policing is getting the residents involved. Traditional police work is you call the police, we show up, we handle the problem, we move on. But community policing is really getting the residents involved, having them tell us what are their concerns, having them help us, partner with us, work with us to solve whatever the concern and problem is. And by letting our residents know how we do our job and helping empower them to take a stake in the community and a stake in our police department, the Citizens Police Academy was an ideal way of starting that out.
Kind of break that wall down between the citizens and the police department.
Yes, and you know, it's been great at that for two reasons. Because residents are getting to know police officers on a personal level. You know, with the uniform and the badge and the gun and the squad car, there's always that kind of mystique and almost a little standoffishness, you know, about talking to an officer. And the other part of it is most things that people know about law enforcement come from the media, television shows, which are usually way off base on how we do things and why we do things, and then when crime does happen, the media only carries certain quotes as far as what it involved, and being able to share with our residents and people in the business community how and why we do things has really been of great benefit to us.
What kind of programs do you have? Give me a real fast crash course and what you guys talk about.
In 10 weeks, we break up the 10 weeks over all 4 of our divisions. So we spend about 2 weeks with each division. So with patrol division, you have some time learning about community policing and learning how and why patrol officers respond to certain calls. In our support services division, we talk about training. We let the residents do some training with us, traffic stops, and we let them fire on the range. In the investigations division, our detectives explain how an investigation works. Again, CSI is a neat TV show, but it's done a great disservice because people assume you're going to find a hair and solve the crime. So by being able to share with people how we do things and how a real-life criminal investigation works is really help people understand what we can do, what we can't do, and what we need from our residents to help us.
Now, when have you ever had cases where you got young people who is there an age limit, by the way?
18 to start with, and the top end, if you want to come, you're welcome to us.
Have you ever seen any 18-year-olds or younger folks decide to make policing a career as a result of this?
Yeah, in fact, some of the younger folks that come to the police academy, they're doing it because they are interested in becoming a police officer, and they're finding this as another way of learning about police work and helping reaffirm that, you know, that is really what their intent is in a career. Another really exciting thing for us is that some adults that have taken the class have really liked the police department, have wanted to give back to the community, and we have 5 now members of our police department that are auxiliary police officers that came from our Citizens Police Academy, and after doing the academy, they wound up applying and getting hired by us.
How many auxiliary officers do we have?
We have 50 right now.
50, okay, all right. That's a good group to have.
It is. They do a wonderful job for us.
Yeah. You guys are out there doing heavy lifting, and some are helping.
Yeah, and that's another thing people don't realize is that by having the auxiliary officers do tasks such as parking enforcement and traffic direction, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, running our lockup, it frees up our sworn officers to do more important tasks. Not that those tasks aren't important, but it frees up the officers to be able to handle police calls, to handle investigations. So our auxiliary officers are doing a great benefit for the community.
Now, at the end of the programs, do you have a final exam, or do you?
Actually, I have a little fun usually the first night. Tell them, well, if you didn't bring your gym shoes tonight, don't worry, we'll start calisthenics next week. And you kind of get a look there, but no, there's no final exam. It's strictly a informational course for the residents to kind of get to meet us and see how and why we do things.
But you have a graduation thing, don't you?
We do, yeah. The last night is a graduation, and that's another fun part of the Citizens Police Academy. Chief Howardin on the first night welcomes all the members and speaks to each person individually and asks them, why are you here, what are you expecting? And at graduation, he does the same thing. What did you get, what did you like? And it's really gratifying to hear what the residents have learned about the police department, and how they appreciate what we do, and then we take a class photo, we have cake, and the real kickoff of the graduation is having our police dog come and do a demonstration for them. That's always the highlight of a graduation.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I mean, typically, how many people attend a class? To say, when's the class begin? By the way,
our next class starts on March 21st and runs for 10 consecutive weeks on Wednesday evenings. The last couple of years, we've been averaging about 25 to 30 people per class, which is a nice number. It's a nice large group, but it's not too big. It gives people a chance to interact and ask questions, and so it's a good number that we've been hitting.
Do you have a minimum number before you have a class, or?
No, we've never had to worry about not getting a certain amount. I mean, we generally always get at least 20, but we've been doing 25 to 30 the last couple of years without a problem. But we're still taking applications at this time. We've got about a month to go before the next session, and I think we've got about 15 applications on file. So if anybody's interested in watching this, you can pick up an application at the Village Hall, at the Police Department, or on the Village of Schaumburg website.
Is there a number they can call? Or?
Sure. My office line is 847-348-7276. I coordinate the program, and I'll be happy to discuss the CPA with anybody.
How many officers are involved in the program?
Over the course of the 10 weeks, probably about 20 to 25 that are filtering through the various classes. We're bringing the subject matter experts, the certain detectives, and the TAC unit, firearms instructors. So we're bringing our officers in to teach the classes, but also part of the Citizens Police Academy is the opportunity to do a ride-along in patrol. So the members of the CPA will go out with a patrol officer for 4 hours on patrol. So, I mean, easy 20 to 25, but that's not even bringing into account the number of the patrol officers that are doing the ride-alongs. And that's really fun, too, because the residents get to see what an officer does, but the officers get a chance to talk to a resident on a I hate to use the word confrontational, but on a relaxed level, because most times when people call the police, there's a problem. They've been a victim of a crime, or they're having a problem in their life. Unfortunately, the officers don't get to interact with citizens on just a nice casual level like you and I are doing right now. So having that chance with the ride-along is a great opportunity for the officers and the citizens.
I imagine, how about high school kids? You have many high school kids or college kids?
We do. We usually have 4 or 5 younger folks in the 18, 20, 21 range per class, and then some of the classes middle-age, and then we usually get about a third of the class that are senior citizens, and those are actually some of the funnest people in the class, because they seem to get such enjoyment out of interacting with the officers and seeing what we're doing.
And the classes are held at the police department?
Yes, sir. Yeah, at the police department.
On Schaumburg Road?
Right.
Okay. And what are the hours typically?
6:30 at night until 9, but a lot of times the classes run until 9:30 or 9:45 because the people don't want to leave. They want to keep asking questions. They want to talk to the officers, and the officers always stick around.
I imagine you get some folks who want to take the class more than once too.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people that have come back, and then once you've graduated, you can join our Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, and alumni are always welcome to come back, so they can drop in at any time they want. And there's usually 5, 6 alumni sitting in the back of the classroom just enjoying and visiting and getting to know the new members.
Oh sure. Can't let go, huh?
No. Well, you know what? The alumni have been fantastic for us. About 2-3 years after the Citizens Police Academy started, the alumni was formed. And I believe it was 2001 they were named the Village of Schaumburg Volunteer Organization of the Year.
Oh, sure.
This past year, 2011, the Illinois Crime Prevention Association named our Citizens Police Academy alumni the Organization of the Year. And one of the big reasons is they've been a tremendous help to us. Over the last 2 years, they've donated nearly 2,000 hours of volunteer service to the police department, and mostly helping our crime prevention unit do public events. We got a lot of requests from the community, and it helps us to be able to meet all of the requests from the community by having the volunteer assistance from the CPAS.
Well, Sarge, you're doing great work.
Thank you. We appreciate your help.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. The spirit of volunteerism is alive and well in our community. Our next guest offers everything you need to help others and achieve personal growth. Find out more here, next, on Speaking of Schaumburg. With 46,000 chapters and over 1 million members worldwide, the Lions Club is one of the largest service organizations in the world. With us today from the Hoffman-Schaumburg branch is Jack Brey. Jack, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you, Al. Good to be here.
Tell me what do the Lions clubs do? I know the glasses thing is something.
Well, we've been around for about 92 years now, and one of our early guides was Helen Keller, who challenged us to go out and be a light for the blind. And so our primary motion has been for sight and helping sight, and then we've expanded that into hearing impaired people. We're doing a lot of work with diabetes and the vision problems that come out of diabetes. We have paired with the Jimmy Carter Foundation to try to fight river blindness worldwide. Locally, we are involved in Septemberfest. We have a hearing bus that we bring in and do free hearing screenings for 300 to 500 people every year. The last few years, our club has been heavily involved in helping out the Little Angels home for severely disabled children out of Elgin. We've been holding a Super Bowl Day party for them for 3 years now, an auction. This year we managed to raise over $6,000 at that.
Now you use eyeglasses too, don't you?
We collect used eyeglasses.
What happens to those eyeglasses?
They're brought into centers where volunteers sort them, and U.S. law doesn't permit us to redistribute used eyeglasses within U.S., so they mostly go worldwide. One of the things that our Lions district, District 1F, which covers the northeast corner of Illinois, we're kind of the southwest outpost of District 1F. It goes up to Zion on the northeast corner, and we're partnered with a charity called the Luke Foundation, which is a medical charity out of that supports Swaziland.
Okay.
And so they go over there with about 40,000 pair of glasses.
So you guys are really international, then, aren't you?
We are very much so. I mean, the Lions is an international organization.
Yeah.
Our club was fortunate enough a few years ago that we managed to acquire a diagnostic tool for the Luke Foundation so that they can read your prescription by looking into your eyes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I think we spent $15,000 on that.
That's high tech.
And so a lot of people at these clinics will go in and will come out with a pair of glasses and able to see for the first time in their lives.
How long have you been involved in the Lions Club?
I personally have been involved for just over 10 years.
10 years. What got you started? I mean, did you know somebody?
Yes. Lion Larry Spaeth and his wife Cindy met us over at Church of the Holy Spirit.
I see the name all the time. The last name Spaeth. Yes.
Yes, and they encouraged us to come and join them, and so we've been part of the club for about 10 years. My wife Carol and I.
Joe Klodzinski was involved in the Lions Club for.
He was before my time, but yes, he was.
Yeah.
And we've had a very enjoyable time with the Lions. I've been the club president twice. I'm immediate past president at the moment.
Okay.
I'm the district webmaster.
Okay.
And also the club webmaster. So
you do things with computers that I just pretend to do. I mean, I'm not a computer guy, but you actually develop websites apparently.
Yes, I do. I'm a behind-the-scenes type guy. I've worked all my life in computers. I'm failing rather miserably at retirement, but it is very good to be involved with the Lions.
How did you get involved? Did somebody come up and say, come on, join the Lions Club?
Yes, we got encouraged, and we encourage other people. We on the first Thursday of every month, we have our club meeting. Social hour starts at 6:30 with the meeting at 7 o'clock over at Pilot Pete's here in Schaumburg.
That's a good location.
That's a very good location.
We had a guy from the Young Eagles here talking to us about the airport. And so.
You ought to come on over. Prospective members, we buy their lunch or dinner the first time they come.
Sure.
And that's a good place for people to come and see if they might want to get involved in what we want to do.
How many members do you have?
We've got about 28 members right now.
Okay. Now, if somebody wanted to join the Lions Club, they just show up at Pilot Pete's on what?
Show up first Thursday of every month.
First Thursday every month. Okay.
And if they show up at Pilot Pete's, we will show them whatever is going on. We try to have a speaker or a member or something interesting at every meeting. Once or twice a year we get the canine companions to come in with the service dogs.
Okay.
And the dog trainers come in with the puppies in training, and that's always a very
That's interesting.
delightful meeting.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. That keeps your members engaged and involved in it.
Yes. And then we have, our first priority. If we can't do anything else, we will get eyeglass vouchers. We have a contract with Lens Crafters, and
Okay.
they provide us at a very reasonable price a voucher that is good for an eye exam and a pair of glasses.
Okay.
And Jerry Bartnicki over at
sure.
the
I know Jerry.
you know Jerry. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry is our gatekeeper, and all the school nurses know Jerry. And so if they have students in the area who need glasses and can't afford them, they'll come to Jerry, and she'll peel one of her vouchers off and send them to Lens Crafters.
She's with the township, right?
She's with the township, yes.
I think she heads up the disabled.
She heads up disabled services with the township.
Okay,
She's a member of our club.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, she does that, and then she also is our primary screener for our scholarship program.
Wow.
We do a scholarship for each local high school serving the Schaumburg-Hoffman area, every $500 scholarship every year for each school.
Well, that's great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
And next time you see Jerry, say hi.
I sure will.
She educated me on the need to have handicap parking in the appropriate locations in Schaumburg. So
Okay.
So she's a real advocate and does a great job.
Oh, she is.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for another all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.